Ever get caught up in those epic movie montages? You know, the training sequences, the underdog stories where someone takes their life to the next level.
Yeah, those are always so inspiring.
Right. Well, today we're diving into the idea that you can create that same transformation, not on screen, but inside your own mind, using something called mind movies.
Oh, interesting. I've heard of those, but I've always been a little fuzzy on what they actually are.
Me too.
Yeah.
Which is why we've got a stack of articles, research, even some inspiring personal stories to sort through. We're on a mission to see if mind movies are just hype or a genuine tool for personal growth.
I'm all for that. Where do we even begin?
Well, our sources all seem to agree on this. Mind movies build on something we've probably all heard of.
Yeah.
Visualization.
Oh, okay. So it's kind of like taking those visualization exercises and like cranking things up a notch.
Exactly. It's like swapping out those travel brochures for a mini movie starring you.
Yeah.
Living your dream vacation, complete with the sights, sounds, even that feeling of the sun on your skin.
Oh, I like where you're going with this. So we're not just talking about picturing something in our heads, we're talking about creating a whole sensory experience.
Yes. And that's what's got me so curious. These mind movies are short, custom-made videos. But instead of your latest trip, it's your goals, your dreams, your aspirations, all set to music and sprinkled with those positive affirmations. Think, like vision board meets movie magic, but, personalized for your own aspirations.
Okay, that's way more exciting than how I pictured it in my head. It's not just like a slideshow of motivational quotes then, but is there any science behind this? Or is this just clever marketing? Like, can our brains really be, I don't know, tricked into believing these mental montages?
That's the million-dollar question. And honestly, the answer is kind of nuanced. We don't have mountains of mind movie-specific research, at least not yet. But the research on visualization itself, now that offers some fascinating clues.
Okay, so it's not just wistful thinking then. Our brains actually respond to these mental images in a measurable way.
It seems so. Our brains are seriously powerful, and studies show that when we visualize something, it actually activates similar neural pathways as if we were experiencing it in real life.
Wait, really? So if I'm like picturing myself nailing this big presentation, my brain doesn't necessarily know the difference between that and me actually being up there?
Not exactly. It's not a perfect one-to-one, obviously, but those similarities in brain activity are super significant. And the idea is that if we repeatedly visualize our goals, our successes, over time, it can actually strengthen those neural connections, almost like building mental muscle memory.
Oh, wow. Okay, so that makes sense. And this isn't just some fringe theory, right? I swear I read an article about Olympic athletes using this, like Michael Phelps, the swimmer.
You're right. It's not just for us regular folks. Athletes have been onto this for years. Visualizing that perfect shot, that race won by a mile way before it ever happens in real life.
That's wild. Have you ever tried that kind of visualization, even casually?
Oh, absolutely. Like picturing a smooth commute home during rush hour, that's a personal favorite.
Now, that is relatable content. But I gotta say, the skeptic in me still wonders, what's to stop this from becoming another one of those think positive and everything will magically work out trends?
Right. Where's the line between a helpful tool and just wishful thinking?
Exactly.
Well, you're right to be cautious. The sources all agree on this, too. Mind movies aren't magic. Just watching one on repeat isn't going to instantly manifest your dream life.
Right. It's not about replacing effort. It's about enhancing it.
Exactly. It's like I can watch the most inspiring mind movie about becoming a world-class chef.
But if you never set foot in the kitchen,
Yep.
exactly. You're not magically going to transform into Gordon Ramsay overnight. But watching that mind movie might give you that extra boost of motivation to, I don't know, finally sign up for that cooking class or experiment with a new recipe. It's about aligning your actions with those visualized goals.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense. It's like creating the mindset, the vision, and then crucially using that as fuel to actually put in the work. So let's say I'm sold. I'm ready to give this whole mind movie thing a shot. What kind of benefits are we talking about here? Give me the good stuff.
Well, the potential benefits are definitely what make this so intriguing. Our sources mention things like enhanced focus, a boost in self-confidence, increased motivation.
Okay, those are some pretty powerful claims, but is there, any evidence to back those up?
Oh, for sure. There's definitely a growing body of research that suggests these benefits are more than just wishful thinking. Like, one study found that athletes who used visualization techniques showed actual improvements in their performance, compared to those who didn't.
Wow, that's really interesting. So it's not just about feeling good, it's about seeing tangible results. But honestly, what really resonated with me was how they presented these benefits through those personal stories.
Yeah.
Like they talked about this guy, Mike, who was trying to get in shape, and he created this mind movie, right? With images of himself looking all fit and healthy, running marathons, all set to this super energetic music.
Oh, yeah, I remember that one. That's what makes this so powerful, right? It's not just some abstract concept. It's about real people using these techniques to create real change in their lives.
Exactly. It's one thing to read about increased motivation,
Hmm.
but it's another thing entirely to hear someone like Mike talk about how, like, watching his mind movie every day
Yeah.
helped him, stay focused, stay disciplined.
Yeah, it makes it real.
Totally. And get this, within 6 months, he'd completely transformed his lifestyle and was crushing his fitness goals. It's pretty amazing.
And that's what's so exciting about this whole thing. It's not a one-size-fits-all solution, right? It's about finding what works for you, tailoring it to your own specific goals and aspirations.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So we've got the science, we've got the stories, we've got definitely some hype. Now let's talk about how to actually do this. How do we make our own mind movies? What are the steps involved?
Well, luckily the process is pretty straightforward, even if you're not like a tech wizard or anything. And the best part, it all starts with you.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Walk me through it.
So the first step is, we've got to identify your goals. And I'm not talking about those vague aspirations like be happier or whatever. We want specific, measurable goals you want to achieve.
Okay, so instead of be more confident, it's more like nail that big presentation at work, or, I don't know, finally ask that person out on a date. Something concrete.
Exactly. The more specific, the more powerful your mind movie's going to be. So once you've got your goals, like, locked in, then it's time to start gathering your visual inspiration. This is where things get really fun.
Okay, so I'm picturing myself like creating a vision board, but instead of magazine clippings, it's all digital images,
Yeah.
video clips, that kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Think of it this way. You wouldn't use some cheesy motivational poster on your actual vision board, right? Well, those low-effort visuals in your mind movie, they just won't have the same impact. You want to find images and video clips that genuinely inspire you, that connect emotionally with your goals. You want them to make you feel something when you see them.
That makes sense. So, like, if my goal is to write a book, I wouldn't just use any old picture of a laptop. I'd want images that capture that feeling of creative flow, the satisfaction of finishing a chapter, maybe even pictures of, like, my writing heroes hard at work.
Yes, exactly. You want to create a visual experience that feels both aspirational but also, like, attainable. And, hey, don't forget about the music. Choosing the right soundtrack for your mind movie is crucial.
Okay, yeah, good point. So what makes for a good mind movie soundtrack?
Well, it all depends on your goals and the vibe you're going for. If you're trying to cultivate a sense of calm, focus, then maybe you choose something instrumental or ambient. But if you're trying to, pump yourself up, boost your energy, then maybe something more upbeat, high energy is the way to go.
Okay, so if I'm, like, training for a marathon,
Yeah.
I'd want a song that makes me feel like I can conquer anything.
Exactly. Music can totally tap into our emotions and motivate us in crazy ways. Oh, and speaking of motivation, don't forget to add in those positive affirmations.
Right, those little nuggets of self-belief, like I am capable, I am strong, I am worthy, that kind of thing.
Yes, exactly. Think of affirmations like little pep talks sprinkled throughout your mind movie, just reminding you of your goals and your potential.
Okay, so we've got our goals, our visuals, our music, our affirmations. It's all coming together. Now what? How do I actually, put this mind movie together?
Well, that's where technology comes in. There are tons of user-friendly video editing software options out there, even free ones, that make it super simple to create your own mind movies.
Thank goodness. I was a little worried I'd need to learn some complicated new software.
Not at all. It's really as simple as dragging and dropping your chosen elements, your visuals, music, affirmations onto a timeline, and boom, you're basically there. Most video editing software even has templates you can use as a starting point, so you don't have to start totally from scratch.
Okay, this is feeling way more doable. But let's say I've got my mind movie made. What's next? Do I just, like, hit play and wait for the magic to happen?
Well, that's where the real work comes in. You see, creating the mind movie is just the first step. The key to really unlocking its potential is consistency.
So it's not a one-and-done kind of deal.
Not at all. Think of it like, I don't know, exercise or meditation. You wouldn't expect to see results after just one workout or one meditation session, right? It's about incorporating it into your routine, making it a habit.
So how often should I be watching my mind movie? Is it like a daily thing? a few times a week?
That's the great part. You get to experiment and see what works best for you. Some people, they find that watching it first thing in the morning helps set a positive tone for their whole day, kind of like a mental priming ritual, you know?
Oh, I like that. Giving your subconscious mind a pep talk before you even step out the door.
Exactly. And others, they prefer to watch it right before bed. You know, let those positive images and affirmations really sink in overnight.
That makes sense too. It's like planting those seeds of possibility before you drift off to sleep.
Precisely. And here's the thing, it doesn't have to be this huge time commitment either. Even just like 5, 10 minutes a day can make a difference. The important thing is to like be consistent, create a ritual around it.
Okay, so consistency is key. But what about those times when, life gets hectic? It feels like there aren't enough hours in the day. Any tips for like fitting mind movie time into a busy schedule?
Oh, absolutely. You can totally get creative with it. Maybe you listen to the soundtrack during your commute, or take 5 minutes during your lunch break to watch a portion of it.
So it's about finding those little pockets of time throughout the day where you can sneak in a few minutes of, inspiration.
Exactly. And you can even incorporate your mind movie into your like existing self-care routine. Maybe you watch it after your morning meditation or while you're enjoying that first cup of coffee.
I love that idea. It's making it a natural, seamless part of your day rather than something you have to, force yourself to do.
Exactly. And, don't be afraid to switch things up. If you're finding that watching it at a certain time isn't working, try something different. Experiment with watching it in different environments. Could be in nature, could be in a cozy spot in your home. Just see what feels good.
So it's all about finding what feels good and what helps you connect with those feelings of inspiration and motivation.
Exactly. It's about making it yours.
This has been incredible. Seriously, I'm feeling so inspired to start creating my own mind movie and, more importantly, to start taking those steps towards my goals.
That's what it's all about. Remember, you have the power to create the life you want. One frame, one action, one day at a time.
That is a fantastic note to end on. Thanks for joining us on this journey into the world of mind movies. Until next time, keep exploring, keep dreaming, and keep creating.